My dear listeners, today I'm going to tell you a story that begins on a quiet morning in a small English town, a place where the chimneys are always smoking, the birds sound a little louder, and the neighbors always know more about you than you do yourself. Yes, the story begins on Willow Lane, where an old house stood, paint peeling, windows creaking, and a wooden gate that never quite stayed closed. People said it was haunted, but like many things grown-ups say, no one really knew the truth. In that house lived Aunty Miriam, a gentle woman in her late 50s, always dressed in a long cardigan, hair tied in a bun that never moved, and a smile that hid more than it revealed. She lived alone, though she often spoke as if someone else was in the room with her. The children of the street would watch her curtains move at odd times, and at night, a soft light would glow in the attic window, flickering like a lantern carried by invisible hands. One rainy evening, a new family moved into the house next door, a mother, a father, and their daughter Lily, a quiet girl with curious eyes. From the moment she arrived, she felt drawn to the old house, as if something inside was calling her name. Each morning, before school, she would stand by her bedroom window and stare at Aunty Miriam's gate, wondering what secrets lived behind it. One day, quite by accident or perhaps by fate, Lily found a small silver key lying near the pavement outside the house. It was old, with delicate engravings, nothing like the keys people use today. She picked it up, feeling a strange warmth travel through her fingers, and decided she needed to return it to its owner. And so, with a deep breath and a heart full of courage, she walked up to the old gate of Willow Lane house and gently pushed it open. The gate creaked loudly, as if warning her or welcoming her, no one could tell. She stepped onto the stone pathway, and before she could knock, the door slowly opened. And there stood Aunty Miriam, her warm eyes fixed on the key in Lily's hand. "Oh, my dear," she said softly, her voice carrying a strange mixture of relief and sadness. "You found it." She invited Lily inside, and the girl noticed something peculiar. The house, though old on the outside, was remarkably warm and filled with the smell of lavender and old books. Paintings lined the walls, all of them portraits of people Lily had never seen, but their eyes seemed to follow her. On a small wooden table lay an empty silver locket, open as if waiting for something, or someone. Aunty Miriam offered her tea, as British as any cup of tea could be, light, warm, and somehow comforting. They sat together, and the woman explained that the key belonged to a small box in her attic, a box she had not opened in 30 years. She said she had been waiting for the right person to return it to her. Lily, curious as ever, asked why she couldn't open it herself. Aunty Miriam smiled faintly. "My dear, sometimes the past becomes too heavy to carry alone." They climbed the narrow staircase together, reaching the attic door. The air was colder, the silence heavier. Aunty Miriam's hands trembled slightly as she passed the key to Lily. "Open it," she whispered. Lily turned the key. The lock clicked. Inside lay a collection of letters tied with a faded blue ribbon, a small broken watch, and a photograph of Aunty Miriam, much younger, standing beside a man with soft eyes and a shy smile. "He was the love of my life," she said quietly. "But he left one stormy night and never returned. The sea took him, or so they said. I could never bring myself to open the box without him." Lily listened, her heart aching for the old woman. But before she could speak, something happened. The attic light flickered. The air seemed to shift. And from the corner of the room, a soft sound, like footsteps, echoed. Lily turned, her breath catching, but she saw nothing. Aunty Miriam, however, stared at the empty space with an expression Lily couldn't quite understand. "My dear," she whispered, "he's here." The room felt suddenly warm, as if someone had wrapped a blanket around them. The watch in the box began to tick, slowly at first, then steadily. For the first time in 30 years. Aunty Miriam closed her eyes, tears slipping down her cheeks. Lily held her hand, unsure but unafraid. Minutes, or maybe hours, passed like seconds in that attic. The footsteps faded, the warmth settled, and peace filled the room. When they came back downstairs, the house felt lighter, brighter, as if a shadow had finally lifted. From that day on, Lily visited Aunty Miriam every afternoon. They read books, baked scones, and shared stories. And every night, when Lily looked at the attic window from her own, the soft light she once feared now felt like a comforting presence, watching over them both. And so, dear listeners, the old house at Willow Lane stopped being the haunted house people whispered about. It became a home again, a place of memories, of love not lost but returned in its own mysterious way. Because sometimes, the past doesn't haunt us. Sometimes, it heals us. And that, my dears, is the end of today's story.